Aleximo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 6 of the Crush Card Cup. I'm Aleximo, joined by Mr. Joseph Rothschild, NBT Yu-Gi-Oh! With you for another electrifying commentary. So before we get into this match, I do want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Ultimate Guard, We Play Games, and Project CCG, for putting up some incredible prize support for this free 512-person online tournament, the biggest during quarantine. But also, we have up this next weekend, at the time of recording this video, we have the Pro Play Tour Weekend Championship, a big event that's going to have some big names because there's some big prize money on the line. And if you guys want to compete, be sure to check out the links down in the description and you can enter that event for yourself. It's going to be a good time. Joseph and I will also be doing commentary for that event as well. But for this event, or excuse me, for this feature match, we have Jason Leonard, Jeff Leonard's prodigal son, going up against Daniel in a Eldlich mirror match. Joseph, how you feeling about this?
Oh, sorry, I just woke up. Eldlich. I mean, what can you say about the Eldlich mirror that hasn't been said already? Why? How? Who let this deck be the best? Those are all good questions to be asking. The second is, have we seen an Invoker resolve in the last 3 or 4 games? This one met with an Ash. I mean, this is just a hand trap magnet.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, when it comes to this match in particular, I'm very interested to see the back and forth because it's control versus control, but, like, both of these decks have very interesting applications for one another, especially in the mirror match. We see here a DD Crow coming down from Jason, gonna immediately banish the Golden Lord, so that way we're not gonna see one on Daniel's side of the field here. We are gonna still get to resolve this Cursed Eldland that was sent for the cost to summon it, sending a Wakero, and now we have an Elixir of Black Awakening anyway, so we're still gonna get to see Golden Lord nonetheless.
So one of the things that's most important in these control mirrors is identifying which of the two decks is going to have to be the beatdown. You know, in any individual game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you need to determine which deck needs to be on the aggressive and end the game before it can be swamped in card advantage, even when two advantageous decks are playing against each other. Right now, I'd give it to Jason. He's found the invoked half of his deck, and he needs to ensure that he's making things like Purgatrio to get ahead. The other important thing you need to be keeping track of in the mirror is where the Eldliches are. A really, really easy way to walk away with the mirror is to hold things like DD Crow, specifically for the Golden Lord when they don't have access to Elixirs, to win the game by banishing all 3 copies. It's a heck of a win con, but it's basically the only way to equalize this otherwise going into time game 1 set.
And this long end phase just kind of shows the resilience of the deck, right? I mean, we saw both players regenerating some of their resources here, and this is what we're going to see. We're going to see players just slowly dwindle away at one another, but then just get all those cards back. So resource management in this matchup in particular is going to be very important. We see a second Alistair coming down from Jason here, but that's going to be met with Infinite Impermanence. We are just not resolving Alistair anytime today.
Yeah, Infinite Impermanence, a weird pick. Probably one of the last decks that can profitably play this card is Eldlich, and Alistair the Invoker is about the only good target in the deck. Jason on Magician's Souls, I love this card in this deck, able to send the spells and traps to get more pluses at end step, and also cycle out of what is admittedly a really, really bad brick. Whoa.
But talking about really, really bad, here comes Relinquished Anima, and Daniel might be regretting placing that Golden Lord in the zone that he did, because now he is going to be able to use Relinquished Anima to suck up Golden Lord and remove it from his field, and here comes an Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine from Jason now. We're going to get a Golden Lord of his own. Again, this doesn't represent lethal or anything, but just removing Golden Lord from Daniel's side means that all of his other Golden Lord spell and traps are turned off, and it's going to be difficult for him to recover because that Golden Lord's not even in the graveyard.
Yeah, again, like, identifying correctly that the beatdown deck is the invoked one. All he's got to chew through is this last golden boy, and he'll be able to win. An Ash Blossom will be a fantastic way to do this. He's down to 200 attack points, and Eld has no shortage of ways to make things like Gustav Max and close out close games. I mean, Jason playing this absolutely correctly.
Could you imagine,
based off of a missed zone placement.
Could you imagine if Jason had a Galgaga Cowboy for his 2 Alistairs?
Oh, please. I mean, what else are you playing in the extra deck? It'd be funny, but not necessarily good.
All right, so, and again, what's interesting is that I'm not 100% sure if Daniel's on the Invoked side of the deck, and we've seen some of the players pivot to the Invoked Eldlich version, just because for the mirror match specifically, you have the ability to just keep generating resources with your Alistair and getting those constant +1s, putting on pressure with Mechaba, being able to negate the traps, because Mechaba can negate traps is really big, but also banishing them. Purgatrio can also make the game end much more quickly, and we'll see if he gets to that point. We haven't seen a single Invoked card from his side yet, but we might be able to see if one version is better than the other and why from this feature match.
So what's the best case scenario for the non-invoked Eldlich player here? They activate red to get a copy of the Golden Boy, and then he's able to Conquistador it away, and then attack for lethal? I mean, that seems pretty good. Oh, Magical Meltdown met with a Solemn Judgment. This card is broken when you only have to pay 100 life points.
Exactly, that's such a bargain at that point, but here we go, attempting to attack for lethal here. I mean, we could just see a Scarlet attempt to defend, but nothing. We're going to be going to game 2. Jason pretty convincingly taking that game 1.
And again, recognizing that based on his draw, he's going to have to play the aggro role. Going into things like Relinquish Anima that are very susceptible to the destruction effects of the Golden Lord spells and traps, just because doing so allows him to get aggressive and put Eldliches out of his opponent's graveyard where they're best.
Now, I want you to pay attention to something specific here, because Daniel actually made Jason go first.
Yo, that's dope. Kind of hard to get Eldlich into the graveyard, especially in the mirror if you are going first. You have to either destroy your own spells and traps, which is what it looks like Jason's going to do, or you have to just keep it in your hand and go for elixir plays.
Yeah, what's so cool is that you are able to set up your own Golden Lord by sending your own cards, which then the the Golden Land cards will get value, so you don't really lose advantage when you do this, which is pretty neat. It's not obviously ideal, but it's a way to set up turn 1 if your hand may not be accommodating if you didn't draw the Invoked half of your deck, so on. We got a little glimpse there of the Golden Land Forever in Jason's back row, so if he has a way to get that Golden Lord back to the field, he's going to be looking pretty good. He will be able to, though, because if he banishes this Conquistador, he'll be able to then get the Scarlet Sanguine to get Golden Lord to the field. But DD Crow is going to come down here during the end phase. Interesting.
Yeah, this is rough. So it looks like he's going to target the Eldlich, which is devastating for Jason. What's more, maybe, I mean, it's very possible that the reason that he chose to force Jason to go first was because you get to play these really cool haymakers in the mirror match, things like Evenly Matched that have massive application against a deck that often doesn't have an ability to play through that card specifically. You've got more chances to find it, and finding it almost certainly wins you the game.
Yeah, exactly. And now we have Golden Land online. So here comes Curse Eldland from Daniel. So we're going to see if this goes through. That's going to be met with Cosmic Cyclone, a very good card for this mirror match, because not only does it dispatch of the card, but it banishes it, meaning that the Eldritch player won't be able to get any more value off of it. Now we're going to see an activation of Golden Lord to be able to send another one of the back rows specifically here by also sending Wakedo. We're going to see an activation from Wakedo on Jason's side here. Now this is going to...
devastating.
Right, so now we get the DD Crow effect of Wakedo being able to banish the Golden Lord out of Daniel's graveyard. Could not have probably been a worse outcome here for Daniel.
And the last remaining card is Golden Land Forever, so if there's any high-impact spell or trap, it's going to be met with that, and then Eldlich is going to pop off on the following turn. Oof. Well, we get to, at the very least, banish Wakedo for what I expect will be a Scarlet Sanguine.
Right, so we're going to get that. So at least we have some sort of defense here for Jason's next turn. But, I mean, with Golden Land Forever, Jason could just negate that if he doesn't want Golden Lord hitting the field, which is typically what you want to do in these types of matches, because then you deny all value from the Golden Land card specifically. We're going to see Jason go ahead and banish his copy of Scarlet Sanguine to get another copy of Wakedo. Can I just say, Wakedo not targeting is ridiculous.
Oh, it's frustrating. In the mirror match, it's not that big of a deal because, of course, you're only ever gunning for Golden Lord. Prioritizing Wakedo seems absolutely correct in this mirror over something like Conquistador, which is just so much more powerful in a vacuum. Gonna Golden Land Forever here in response to the Scarlet Sanguine says, you are not going to get a Golden Lord. I'm trying my hardest.
Yeah, I think that's the game that we're playing here. We just want to see complete denial from Jason's side of Daniel being able to access that Golden Lord. But here we go. Now we're going to see him send the invocation that he set to the board, summon out Eldlich, and now it's going to have 3,800 defense and the immunity. So again, we're going to maybe have a chance here for Daniel to come back. It's not the end of the world, but here we go. Both the players just going to dip into their graveyard, start banishing, getting cards back. It's favoring Jason for sure at this point, but I don't think Daniel's out of it.
No, certainly not. All he's got to do is get a Golden Lord, and it's not very difficult to do so. We're going to lead with a banished copy of Elixir to get a Conquistador. Not prioritizing Hakero may cost him. He'll go to end step. That set card has to be pretty much exactly Scarlet Sanguine, and it needs to be activated in a way that Hakero won't be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, so here we go, seeing a copy of Scarlet Sanguine from Jason now, so we're going to summon a second copy of Golden Lord. This is one of the scary things about this deck, is that even though it is a control deck, Eldlich the Golden Lord is a big boy, and also, because they're level 10, you can go into Gustav Max or the Super Juggernaut Rail Cannon Lieb for just an insane amount of damage. So, it has the potential, if you get to, like, this board state specifically, to be able to close out the game rather quickly out of nowhere if you don't have the resources to deal with it.
So we probably don't want to overlay for Gustav and then Liba right here, just because we know that the Conquistador will be a blocker for Liba. We
Correct.
probably want to switch both these Eldliches to attack and threaten Gustav lethal on the next turn. Putting those monsters as material under Gustav is a fantastic way to get 2-for-1 or lose your Eldliches in graveyard, but it looks like Jason has thrown caution to the wind and says, hey, let's do it.
Yeah, to be fair, both these players are 5-0, so, I mean, they've made it this far, and Gamma coming down from Daniel. That probably is the absolute worst thing Jason could have expected from going into this Gustav Max here. Gamma's going to remove the Gustav Max. Both of the Eldliches are now in the graveyard, and wow, I mean, that was a pretty devastating blow.
For sure. I mean, this is a card that's been off for the majority of the game. Like, again, one of the benefits of playing a control deck like Eldlich is you get to dead a significant portion of your opponent's deck that's aimed at beating stuff like Adamancipator or the specific invoked half of your deck. You don't get to do that if you overlay into an effect monster that's a must remove. So we eat a Gamma for our trouble, and we don't have access to Gustav or the second Eldlich.
And that effectively just ended Jason's turn. We're going to end phase after resummoning Golden Lord. We're going to set a White Destiny, which can then represent a way to get Golden Lord back onto the field. But, I mean, let's talk about Gamma, though. I mean, one of the interesting things about Eldlich specifically is that it can play Gamma rather effectively because it doesn't really commit a lot of monsters to the board. It also has a lot of cards that would bait hand traps like Ash Blossom, for instance, so then you can easily just throw down Gamma and get some more pressure on your opponent as a result of that. We just see Daniel's just going to set a card and pass. We're going to see White Destiny here from the end phase of Jason, gonna bring back that second Golden Lord, and we're kind of back where we were the previous turn.
He's gonna do it again. Okay, sure. We do know the Conquistador, that's all we know. With no Hakero prioritized, it seems difficult to me. I mean, if you had a way to get Outland, like one of these two set cards, the activatable one rather, being Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, it would have been a fantastic opportunity to banish one of these in response to the White Elixir. Instead, he just gets to pop off and then activate Cursed Eldland in the next main phase.
Yeah, so here we go. We're paying 8 to go ahead and grab another copy of Wakero, and again, Jason is still looking in the driver's seat here with double Golden Lord on his field. I mean, granted, again, Daniel still has a chance here. We're going to flip the copy of Wakero up that we already knew about, I believe. We're going to banish that DD Crow in the graveyard of Daniel just for its troubles, and we're going to make a Link 3?
Oh, I'm confused. BLS maybe?
Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Interesting. Okay. So we're gonna
it does banish cards.
It does require 3 monsters with different names, though, so we're actually going to take that back.
I was going to say, well, for what it's worth, taking that back is probably a good thing. That is more than a little questionable. We're going to normal summon a DD Crow. He's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again with the DD Crow this time. I'm very curious why we're going into Soldier of Chaos here. This is a very interesting pick, to say the least.
So we can use the effect of Eldlich in Graveyard here, plus with the effect of Cursed Eldland. We get in for a ton of damage. If they block 1, we can still kill them with the Gustav Max. We're going to see if that's the play, but it opens us up to basically every point of interaction and every hand trap.
Well, there is the possibility that with Soldier of Chaos that if the opponent uses, let's say, Conquistador as a blocker, Soldier of Chaos could attack over it and then either get a second attack or banish one of the cards that Daniel has. So maybe that's not terrible?
Okay, I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the only line I can think of where that makes sense. And it looks like that's what we're going for here. We're going to attack with the smallest Golden Lord first. And that's going to
correctly activating Conquistador here.
Right, so we're going to go Conquistador Chainlink 1, and then we have Scarlet Sanguine Chainlink 2, and Skill Drain Chainlink 3. This is going to be really interesting.
deadly.
Like, that is probably the perfect 3 combination of cards that was necessary to deal with this board specifically, because with Skill Drain, Soldier of Chaos is now negated, and then Conquistador is able to pop it.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Wow.
Well, the large Eldland can still get over anything, and it looks like the board will be wiped. But with the Scarlet Sanguine in graveyard, a Conquistador in graveyard, and an Eldlich in graveyard, things are looking bad. And I can't help but feel that normal summoning that DD Crow so you could link summon for Blackluster Soldier was a giant misstep. Think how different this game would be if Jason had 2 Eldlands and was able to DD Crow his opponents before he could get it back.
Yeah, there's a bit of a misstep there. I think there was supposed to be a replay because a monster was summoned, and so Golden Lord should have attacked first, but I mean, I think that's perfect. It didn't change anything here, but just for anyone in the comments that might say that. But now we're going back to Daniel's turn here, and all of a sudden, Skill Drain's a great card, but when your opponent has 2 gigantic monsters on the field already, and you have none, not looking particularly great.
Yeah, Eldlich, while on the field, is effectively a vanilla. It doesn't care about activating any effects. None of the traps care about activating effects because they're not effect monsters. It really just exists to punish overextension, specifically into powerful Link monsters or Xyz monsters like the Trains.
Now, the thing is, Daniel does have both the Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine and a Conquistador engraved that he is able to banish and get some resources back. So in terms of the resource game, he's actually ahead here just by a slight margin, and maybe he'll be able to turn this around if he plays his cards carefully. Here comes Skill Drain being sent for the cost of Golden Lord, but Huaquero being used to banish the Golden Lord out of Daniel's graveyard, and that is 2 of his 3 Golden Lords getting banished now.
Yeah, Jason, despite the DD Crow misstep, certainly is doing the right thing in prioritizing Huaquero over Conquistador. His opponent is still going into Conquistador because it's such a good card in a vacuum, but Jason says, I don't care if I destroy your monsters, I care if I banish the Eldliches. And look at the position he's walked himself into as a result. All he has to beat is 1 more Eldlich, which is happening off of this Scarlet Sanguine.
No, so we have White Destiny, as a matter of fact, and he had
it's in the hand?
It's in the hand, yes, because it summons from hand or graveyard, and since none run the grave, he had to have exactly that in the hand to defend against this. And so now it looks like we're just going to end phase, switching one of our Golden Lords to defense. Jason does have some cards in his graveyard that he can use to get some more resources back. White Destiny for Daniel will be able to get something as well, but now here we see during the end phase a Conquistador activation, which is going to potentially just take care of one of these Golden Lords, and it looks like he's going to take care of the one in defense position specifically. Now we see Huaquero going to get banished on Jason's side. We're going to grab a copy of Scarlet Sanguine. Is that his last one? That is. So again, the resources are starting to matter here as this grind game continues.
So if you have... Oh man, so many of the non-invoked Eldlich players... options are just cut off by virtue of only having 1 Eldlich available. Vampire Sucker is what we're linking into. I mean, we are deep in the pool of playables at this point.
Right. I mean, this is an interesting one. I've seen some Eldlich players opting to play this. This card is actually not too bad.
He's taking DD Crow.
So we're going to use Vampire Sucker's effect, take the DD Crow, and special summon it to our opponent's field, but it becomes a zombie. However, when a zombie monster is special summoned from either graveyard per Vampire Sucker's second effect, the Daniel gets to draw 1 card. So he only did that just so he could get another card on his board. It's unfortunate that, he kind of gave his opponent a card to use. Granted, it's DD Crow, so it's not that bad, although it could be a link material, even though he could just walk over it with this Vampire Sucker. Daniel maybe just really trying to just get ahead on cards here, because right now both players are kind of even when you factor in their graveyards as well. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, the frustrating part of Daniel's graveyard is that it only contains 1 Eldlich. The other 2 are banished. It opens up so many more avenues to win the game if you have access to 2, because like we were saying earlier, you can Gustav into Liba. He's going to have to play on the back foot from the position of, at all times, able to lose from Gustav Liba, and Jason never has to worry about it again, provided Daniel isn't playing something like Pot of Acquisitiveness.
So now we see Daniel sending a evenly matched in his hand that he could not use because of Vampire Sucker being up. We're going to get Golden Lord back to the field, go to battle phase. Sucker's going to hit over that DD Crow that it resurrected, and Golden Lord's going to hit over Golden Lord. And now, again, Jason's just left with this Wakedo. He does have a Scarlet Sanguine, so he's able to get Golden Lord back to the field. But in main phase 2 here, we're going to go ahead and use White Destiny to set Wakedo on Daniel's field. And I believe he also has a Conquistador in end phase he can use as well, and it looks like he's going to resolve. And so now we're going to possibly get another copy of Scarlet. Is that his last Scarlet? It looks like it. So again, the resources are very low for both of these players now. This game's going to come to a conclusion at some point.
So Scarlet Sanguine here, absolutely correct. Oh man, an Ash Blossoming it, even though we know the location of the third Eldlich is in Graveyard. This is rough. Now when he goes to use the Eldlich effect in Graveyard, his opponent can just flip the Haketo, banish said Eldlich, and then attack him to death on the next turn. I mean, this is the line that wins Danny the game. Good luck to him.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if he sees it here. So a normal summon of Alistair finally getting into the invoked half of the deck, but no effect.
Oh, that's weird.
Does he already
it in hand already?
I think he already does, because he has one engrave, and unless they don't play, there's not a banished one. No, so they must only play 2 invocations in this list, and that means the other card. Yep, there it is.
All right, I suppose. So this makes Makaba, or yeah, just about exactly Makaba, right? I don't think there is an Ash Blossom, could be a Purgatrio.
Right, it looks like we are going for Purgatrio, interestingly enough here. So that Purgatrio is on 29?
That's pretty big. Not bigger than Eldland, but still quite large.
Right, so looks like we're going to see a DD Crow activation now to banish Alistair potentially.
Man.
So that way, or no, we're going to banish Invocation, excuse me, to prevent Alistair from going back to the hand, because Purgatrio would then be able to get pumped up to 39, hit over this Golden Lord, and then Wakedo would be able to dispatch of the Vampire Sucker, and Daniel would not really be left with much at that point.
What a miserable sequence. The card in hand is DD Crow, and trying to activate the Graveyard effect of Eldlich here is just met with the Haketo. There's no good way to do this. He's just going to pass turn, eat a Scarlet Sanguine, and I don't think... Is there actually a target for the Scarlet Sanguine left? I guess if he plays another zombie in the deck, you can get an Ash Blossom.
He could potentially, yes. So Wakedo's going to resolve. It's going to banish the Eldlich from the Jason's graveyard, and he gets an Ash Blossom to the field off the Scarlet Sanguine. You know, it is a zombie.
It's link material. It draws you a card.
It's a tuner. It's a tuner as well. Are we going to see a level 8 synchro play here?
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Well,
all we have to walk through is the Purgatrio, and this is an easy route to victory.
He's playing Gamma, so he could potentially be playing Omega. But we're going to see Vampire Sucker kick things off. Again, reviving the DD Crow and drawing Daniel another card. This Vampire Sucker surprisingly putting in work.
Yeah, it's drawn 2 cards over the course of 2 turns. I mean, that's pretty dope.
Okay, so here we go. Uh-oh. That's sync for 8.
That's 8.
There's Omega.
Oh, ridiculous. Oh, that is so silly.
That is just crazy. Okay, so now what we can do is we're going to use Golden Lord and Vampire Sucker for another copy of Vampire Sucker. just
just trying to get the Eldlich into the graveyard here.
Absolutely, yeah, you beat me to it. We're going to get Golden Lord to the graveyard. We're going to send this Elixir of Black Awakening so we can bring Golden Lord back. Now he's going to be 3,500, can easily hit over this Purgatrio, and then Omega can take care of Wakedo, and then Vampire Sucker can clean up DD Crow. And yeah, there is an Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine in Jason's graveyard, but like he's pretty much depleted of all of his resources at this point.
I think he's got 1 Conquistador left, which is laughably bad at this stage in the game.
Well, and not to mention, Omega can also just rip cards out of Jason's hand as well, which makes it even worse. And then we're going to get to see Golden Land Forever get set here by Daniel after all these turns, and this could just be the point where the game gets locked up for Daniel. He managed to do it, and we are going to a Game 3.
Wow, I mean, can't help but feel that mid-game misstep by Jason is responsible for this, but Daniel playing out of his mind in order to take this game too. We have a set, ladies and gentlemen.
So now we're going to see Jason opting to go first. Makes sense because he is playing the Invoker variant. So now we're going to go and start things with Magical Meltdown, get that Alistair. No Ash Blossom for once, I should say. So that is finally going to resolve.
Resolved?
It did.
This card has an effect?
And so now we're just gonna, looks like we're gonna link one off into Almirage, then our copy of Secure Gardna to get our light fodder for the Mechaba. We're gonna throw down Invocation. DD Crow, though, going to deny Alistair. Does Jason have an Alistair in hand? He does!
Always, always, always. Don't even bother asking. Now we can even activate the effect of Invocation to get the one that was banished off DD Crow back. Ugh.
We can. That's what's even more disgusting about that interaction, because if they have that second Alistair, DD Crow is almost like the worst possible thing imaginable.
It's like if they have the second Alistair or the Invocation in hand, it is just a catastrophe, but it's so high impact if they don't that you have to do it.
Now, notably, Jason just set a single card and passed.
Well, it certainly plays well around evenly matched.
It does, which we're going to see right here from Daniel, and that's going to be met by a chain of Scarlet Sanguine. It looks like we're going to see this before the battle phase, as a matter of fact. But
okay,
I think it looks like they were actually disputing that really quick. So it looks like this is during battle phase. So we are going to see the Scarlet Sanguine and the Golden Lord get banished, as well as Magical Meltdown, which is pretty much irrelevant at this point. Mechaba going to stick on the board. That could have been a potential misstep from Jason, because he could have had Scarlet Sanguine in graveyard prior to evenly match resolving, so that way he'd have the resource. But it looks like they did go to battle phase, and that's how it's going to stand.
He did say, yes, end of battle phase, but wow, no follow-up. I'm starting to think this hand has a lot of hand traps in it. Really scared that there is an additional copy of DD Crow, probably a Gamma after seeing it in Game 2, and under those circumstances, beating in with Mechaba seems like a pretty viable win condition.
Yeah, and Jason seems pretty content just to sit on Mechaba and just wait. So we're going to see what happens here now. We're going to see Cosmic Cyclone come down, go for this back row that Jason has. There goes the Conquistador. Not really going to be doing too much without a Golden Lord on the field. So if anything, it's just bait for Cosmic Cyclone at this point. We're going to send Golden Lord and another copy of Evenly Matched. Try to get rid of this Mechaba here. And it looks like that's going to resolve.
Yeah, they're talking about it in chat, which of course is covered at this point, but in fact, if Eldland is negated by the effect of Mechaba, after activating its hand effect, it is not banished. So really, no cost to just letting this Mechaba go to the graveyard. Discarding a card in order to prevent effectively nothing isn't probably worth it.
And we know that he has a copy of Alistair in his hand for next turn anyway, so he's going to be able to reset pretty easily. We are going to see Daniel send this copy of White Destiny to the graveyard, bring back the Golden Lord. If it's not met with a DD Crow from Jason's side, the return DD Crow being, I think, more punishing than Daniel's DD Crow, to be perfectly fair.
Yeah, for sure. And at the very least, this telegraphs there is not a Gamma in the opening hand, because that would have been a great opportunity to activate it. Looks like we are going to have to play this game without Eldland, and if that's the case, I've got to favor the player on A-lister.
Right, and so we have a Wakedo up for Daniel, but with no Golden Lord, there's not going to be the opportunity to use it too much, so at the very least, it's just like a chump blocker at this point. Here comes the Alistair. That's going to be met with Infinite Impermanence, though, so that definitely will slow Jason down here, maybe buy a little bit of time. Alistair's just going to swing in for 1,000, but that can be blocked by the Wakedo, and now we're just going to go ahead, go to main phase 2, just set and pass. Wow, I mean, that couldn't have gone any better for Daniel, I don't think.
I kind of disagree. Certainly the Haketo is annoying, but if I'm Jason, I'm probably pretty happy that this card is being activated at a time that it doesn't banish an Eldland. They've only got 3 Haketos and DD Crows, and you are on 3 Eldlands. One of them has to resolve while in the graveyard, and this is an opportunity that it's not going to. It looks like he's just passing.
Yeah, that's a very bad sign on Jason's side here. But again, with these type of Eldritch Mirror matches, they're not going to be dealing tons of damage unless Golden Lord is on the field representing some sort of threat, you know, in terms of like Gustav Max or just its huge attack power. This Elixir of Black Awakening getting stopped by Ash Blossom, which means that Daniel is not going to be able to get Golden Lord on his side of the field. I think it's interesting seeing this matchup with neither player really being able to establish Golden Lord, but I think that is just emblematic of how important the card is, not just in this feature match specifically, but just to the deck in general.
I think a lot of people isolated the correct weakness when they were originally thinking about Eldlich, which is it's only got one main deck monster. You know, if you have enough ways to dispatch of it, then you're out of luck. Ooh, activating White Destiny in the middle of main phase 1. Is it in the hand?
Oh, but Imperial Order is going to take care of that unless there's a response here from Jason, but there is not. Now, this is a little bit dangerous because even though both these players are low on resources, Imperial Order will drain Daniel for 700 every single turn, and he does not have a Golden Lord in Graveyard to get rid of this, so it's good right now, but we're going to have to see if it's enough to seal out this game.
Yeah, like, Jason's taking, what, 18 a turn, and Daniel's taking 14? It's not that different, and if Jason can find a way to get this Eldland from their hand into the graveyard next turn, there's going to be a huge issue for Daniel.
All right, so 18 going into Jason's phase. We're going to main phase 2, banish this Elixir of Black Awakening, going to set a Conquistador just to get another body. There's no Golden Lord still, so we're not going to be popping anything, but at the very least, it will accelerate that clock a little bit. A set Inspector Border
I think
from Daniel.
Correctly identifying, 1, you need more threats, 2, you've got to have ways to prevent Alistair the Invoker from activating, and 3, you are in OTK range if he can find any way to get this Eldland out of his hand.
All right, so we're going to banish the White Destiny from Jason's graveyard. Now, get a copy of Conquistador to the field. You know, that's good, but without Golden Lord, I don't think it's good enough. He had Golden Lord in his hand, so here comes sending Called by the Grave. We're going to get rid of the set Inspector Border on Daniel's field. Now we can use the Conquistador that we just set, bring Golden Lord back. There he is for, like, the first time this game. 3,500 attack in all. We're going to be able to swing over this Wakero for 1,700 damage. Imperial Order will drain another 700, putting him down to exactly 700 life points for the following turn.
It's going to be an Imperial Order kill. He's got to find a way to get Gold Lord into the graveyard right now to get rid of it. Oh, no. I don't think there's a way.
Of all the ways... Well, there is the Scarlet Sanguine, so there is a chance, but if there's a way for that to be negated, this could be one of the craziest ways for a match like this to end. Both players getting a copy of Scarlet Sanguine. Looks like backs are to the wall. Here we go. Daniel taking his turn, taking 700 from the Imperial Order. Going into Conquistador here, though, and also the Scarlet Sanguine met by Solemn Judgment. This could be it right here, paying half his life points, negating that Scarlet Sanguine, and that is huge because now Conquistador is not going to be able to resolve, and that is it. Jason going to 6-0, taking this grind of an Eldlich Mirror. Incredible.
Oh, wow. I mean, the play was you summon Eldlich the Golden Lord, you have Conquistador, you make a link play, the Eldlich is in the graveyard, you get rid of your Imperial Order, but without the ability to get Golden Lord, it's all over on the back of Imperial Order Exact Lethal. What a set!
I know, that was just an incredible showing of, I think, both of these players, but also just this mirror in general. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you in the next match.